Alright, hey, VC Jeff here. I am back again. I didn't want to add this to the other video I made just because it wouldn't be too long. This is a separate topic here. I got a couple pre-orders that came in, and then some stuff from Discogs real quick that came in the past couple of days. Now this one almost escaped me. I happened to catch somebody on Facebook that posted it. I didn't know it was out, and I'm glad they posted it. I went and looked for it and realized, you know, it was, let's get into it. It's Keel Streets of Rock and Roll. Never on vinyl before. It has been released on vinyl, and it is released, it's put out by the, what's the name of that? Night of the Vinyl Dead company. Where'd I go? Night of the Vinyl Dead. They're, I believe, Italian or one of the overseas. And they put out a lot of great stuff, and it tends, if you don't keep your eye on it, it goes out of print fast. It's hard to find a lot of times in America for a decent price. So I haven't really got anything else by them. There's a lot of things on their label that I want. But this one, somebody posted it. I went and looked initially online to see if I could find it, and I could not. So then I went to actual Keel's page, Ron Keel's page, and that's where they had got it from. Because he had it there. And it wasn't horribly priced for an import, you know, based on, it would have been harder to get overseas. But and then, of course, he did sign them. So, you know, like I said, there's a signature there if you can see it in the silver there. Signed by Ryan Keel. It comes with the insert here is, got the credits. It's got a picture of the band. And then it's got all the lyrics inside. So it's a little gatefold there. Has a nice polyline sleeve. Now this was a reunion type album. This is after the 80s heyday of Keel, and then they came back a handful of years later and they released this. It's on a gray marbled look. So this would have been just a little bit long later in their career. Great stuff, and I'm glad I scooped one up because I'm sure they're going to be gone fast. And I notified some people that I thought would want one to make sure they jumped on it too. This came in. This is a pre-order. Just ordered it from overseas. If you can, it's kind of hard to see. It's and I still don't 100% know. Detritus. This is their Myths album. Now, Detritus or Detritus. They had a couple albums in the late 80s, early 90s that have been reissued on vinyl, like the past 2 years, and great stuff. Their first album is just like thrash, late 80s. Thrash, kind of Metallica-ish, that kind of thrash, not too, you know, the vocal styles are just rough, but not too extreme as that goes. Second album had a little more groove to it. It had some thrash moments, but it was a little different. Third album, same singer, same type of sound. I mean, I'm assuming it's the same singer. I didn't even look at that, but same vocal styles and same sounds to me. I'm sure it is. But musically, it's a little different. It has still some of that still edgy, borderline thrash. But honestly, this album I have really grown to love. It's got some really, really, really cool songs on it. And so it still feels like them. It's, like I say, it's got some thrash moments. But unlike the first album, it's not, you know, as speedy all the way through. Anyway, all that to say, I love it. Comes with you know, it's black. And then it comes with the insert, the inner sleeve. But yeah, so pre-ordered this directly from the band's, whoever's making the records, will pre-order from their site. It was on hold, it was being held up. They sent the digital tracks months ago when the album dropped, but the vinyl was being held up, all of the same manufacturing issues. Then all of a sudden, I start seeing US sellers get a stock of these in and they're selling them. I have yet to even be notified that mine has been shipped. So I reached out to the company, hey, has it been shipped yet? No. They're behind and they're getting stuff shipped. I'm like, well, how come another U.S. company already received some, which means that you had to have shipped it to them 2 weeks ago in order for them to get it from overseas by now. They've been selling it for 2 weeks, which means that you had to ship it a month ago, and mine's not even shipped. It was a little frustrating. They finally did ship it 8-10 days ago, and it arrived. It's a great album. Like I said, I've been spinning the digital tracks because you can do that. Anyway, been listening to the digital tracks since they sent them to me, and it's on Spotify and everything. You can check it out. But great to have the vinyl. It sounds great. Love that release. Now, the next things here were Discogs. Twisted Sister Club Days Volume 2. I don't know why Club Days Volume 1 hasn't been on vinyl yet, but this is released by Back on Black. This is a live concert. Twisted Sister back in the day when they were struggling as a bar band, and they were pretty top of their game. And it does have a couple new tracks, which are basically tracks that were from that time frame that they re-recorded in 2001, which I believe is probably about when this came out on CD. Never Say Never, Blasting Fast and Loud. So it's got two fairly modern recordings of songs that they used to play back in the day that were never on any other album. And then it's got, a lot of these songs. Under the Blade is on here, but a lot of these songs are, Long Tall Sally, Ladies Boy, Can't Stand Still, Johnny Be Good. It's a set of them playing in the clubs back in the day when they were on the top of their game. But these are not, these are songs that either were cover songs or just songs they played that didn't really come out on later albums. It's got, story, information, jukebox stuff. Double record set. I took the records out because, here it is. They're all white. Got the custom centerings there. Double white. And there is, like I say, there is a Club Days Volume 1, if you don't know. It's a studio album of all the tracks from those days that, never were really released later, or early renditions, or just recordings from that time frame for an early demo type thing. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that because I just had to make sure I got that before, and the price was great. It was great price for that, being it's getting harder to find. And then the guy also had, I figured I'd save for shipping here, just went ahead and threw in the Riot Rock City. This is the later Metal Blade reissue on clear, translucent clear vinyl. It's got a typical insert there. This is this is the first Riot album. I listened to this, I've listened to this over the years, and I really discovered them on like Fire Down Under around that time. And you go back and listen to this, Nerida, and some of that stuff. To me, all their stuff is great, but you can tell this is just a rock album. This is just an album that probably, it was a rock album. There's nothing real special about it. Same with Nerida, nothing real special about it. But for some reason, when they got the Fire Down Under, and maybe it's just because that's where I started with them, and I go back to these, Fire Down Under to me, it's like they kicked it up a notch, and they became really special. And from there on out, put out some great albums in that time frame. The other thing that particular seller had that I went ahead and picked up was this Impaler single. This is an EP, 4 songs. It is on 33, so there's 4 songs. If you're not familiar with Impaler, they started in 1983. They're a Minnesota band, shock rock, horror rock, lots of blood, lots of, horror and stuff on stage. They released an album in 85 that I picked up. It was an EP called The Rise of the Mutants, and it had this picture on the cover. This picture has been kind of digitally colored. It makes it look more like a cartoon. But if you zoomed out on this and put it on the cover and make the logo go away, and you could see his hair and things better, get rid of the fake blood around him, I picked it up because it looked just like Blackie Lawless. Got the meat and the blood and I thought, hey, that could be something early. And then you pick it up and find out it's another band. But I swear it looked just like Blackie Lawless, and I bought it. And like I said, shock rock. It had, it was like a little bit of sleaze rock, a little bit of punkish at times, a little bit of fast paced, not really thrash, but they do cross over into that sometimes. So I ended up enjoying it. But anyway, the band did put out an actual full album after that. They were like on Combat Records, and I saw that in the stores all the time, but for some reason back in the day never bought it. And If We Had Brains, We'd Be Dangerous has a singer in a straitjacket. That album and this, of course, got them on Tipper Gore's View for the Parents Against Music type thing, and so they were one of the bands that was being labeled as being dangerous, and they got a lot of popularity from that whole Tipper Gore witch hunt back then. They have continued. Those first 2 albums were on vinyl back in the day, and then of course the CD boom started, and they've released quite a few albums over the past 30-some years, and they're all on CD. They have some singles. This is 2012, fairly new. They have a new album that just came out like in the past year, so they're still around, still quality, for the most part, quality underground shock rock, horror rock, lots of that imagery. They have a lot of CDs, but not many of them are on actual full-length vinyl. They have a bunch of singles and split singles with other bands. on my wish list. This one was there. There's multiple. There's a red one and a black one. I got the black one. It was marked down to like half price because supposedly this one has a ding on it, which I can't see, but it must not have been ultimately, all the way perfect. It has. Let me just show the inside. This is kind of the imagery you get of the band. Just a lot of the makeup and costumes, and that's them over the years. That would have been the first album, it just, the raw meat and the chewing the raw meat and all that stuff, definitely right out of the handbook of Wasp. But yeah, as a novelty thing, I saw it, they had it for cheap, and I had it on my wish list anyway. I need to get me some more Impaler. They're just, fun stuff, horror stuff. But that's all for this one. Anyway, just wanted to share those. Thanks for watching. Rock on and rock hard.